I call Karen Adam to be followed by Jamie Green.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Presiding Officer, a Friday evening tradition at my Gran's house would be for her to don her camel-coloured mac coat, put on her red lipstick and comb up her hair, ready for the big shop at the supermarket in Dice. It was a weekly highlight and, I would always ask for some lipstick too. My Gran always took pride in her appearance and held self-respect in high esteem. And she would say, in her accent, she grew up near Strathpeffer, so you'll know she spoke the perfect Queen's English. She would say, well, you never know when you'll meet the Queen. And on one such big shop trip, there was a cavalcade of fancy cars coming past us from the airport. And my Gran excitedly thought that she might catch a glimpse of the royals on their way to Balmoral. And sure enough, she shouted, "It's Princess Diana." A bit louder than that, though. I turned quickly to my window and caught the unmistakable blonde hair, the head tilted against the window, and her hand under her chin. And that really was excitement for us. And I'll never forget that moment, but mostly because of my Gran's reaction. To my grandparents, the royal family, in particular the Queen, as she became, was an anchor during some of the most traumatising events in history. I don't underestimate how powerful it was for many women like my Gran, holding the fort at home, doing her duty as a firewoman in wartime, just as Princess Elizabeth did back then in the final year of the war, when she donned a uniform herself, joining the Auxiliary Territorial Service. It meant something to my Gran to have a woman to go on to become the head of that royal family, not least a model of feminine strength and someone who then, and during her long service, was a figure of strength during periods of crisis. That generation took responsibility seriously and did what they said they would do. They knew that if they strayed even a tiny bit, that it could have disastrous consequences for them and others. The keep calm and carry on silent generation. The Queen emulated this, but she was quite clear that she didn't want the distinction for herself. She always steered that to the Crown. She did not attribute the glory to herself, but to her purpose and, of course, her unwavering faith in it. It's an incredible task to serve with such adoration while diverting it to your cause and not absorbing it onto yourself or your own ego. That's true integrity. She exemplified that humility while she served, and she showed that that humility was as essential as the service itself. A few historical interviews have been shown over the last few days, and the most striking one for me was when she was asked why she did it, and she responded with, "Because I said I would." An example to us all indeed, and especially poignant in our chamber where trust is placed upon us. We know the importance of doing what we said we would do. I will always remember her and those who followed her example with the deepest of respect. Thank you.